Hey, Keith, can you hear me? Ooh.
Love you, love you. Love this session.
What just happened? I'm only getting one ear. Can you mess around with my input? No. Back, jiggle it. No. Headphones. Nope. Up top. Oh, right there. Yep. Right. Keep messing with it. There we go. Hello, sir. Oh. Yeah. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
How's your connection?
You're muted.
Oh yeah. How's your connection over there?
Uh-oh.
It's looking like you're freezing. So where's this being streamed?
Ooh, there we go.
YouTube. Can you turn me up? For some reason, maybe it's my headphones. Is it my yeah, it's my headphones.
Oh. You mute us?
Hello. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right.
Perfect.
All right,
We'll get this thing started.
roll it.
Um.
All right.
Quaaludes.
Oh, I need to make sure it's the right one. Oh, there we go. Dave, can you hit the special music?
Special button.
First one. What do you? Hello. What just happened? I have nothing in my headphones.
Oh.
I have
The
nothing in
connection?
my head.
Can you hear him?
That's about me too.
Can you hear him?
I can hear him.
I'm good.
What,
yeah, I can hear him.
there we go.
Oh.
What
Oh my
just
God! I
happened?
see
jiggle
three
the,
people
back
in
of
the
the-
same room. No masks. No plastic dividers. What is this world coming to?
It's crazy.
I know it's insane.
We're crazy.
We're down
you
in a
guys are
bunker.
nuts. That's like it's like I go to Disneyland with my wife all the time, and my mom is like, "You went to Disneyland?" It's like, are there people there? Did you go on a ride? Did you mask up? I'm like, no, I'm there to see a mouse. I'm not worried about it.
Love
Yes.
this.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna real quick start the theme song and whatnot.
Sure.
Who the hell is calling me?
Just throw that phone.
Hey there, friends and family, and whoever the hell is watching. We are Nerds of a
Friends
New
and
Gorge,
family.
and I am your host, Steve, the Meat Man Melanson.
No, that would be me.
No,
My name's not Steve.
I'm Steve McMonster McMahon, joined by my co-host, Colin, the Meat Man Melanson.
Corned beef.
And Mikey, Splain Boy, Splain.
Yo.
What I didn't tell you, and I posted it earlier, is we also have a special guest. The dishes are done man himself, Keith Coogan.
The dish man.
The
Yes.
dish man.
Wow. Good evening,
Yeah,
everybody.
welcome.
You must have plenty of nicknames.
The Coogan, Cougar,
The Cougar.
Coogan,
Oh, damn.
Woody,
That's crazy.
hey, babe, you, lots of
Yeah.
nicknames. Sorry, I'm trying to get my ring light that has a color balancing, and it's just not balancing. So it's something shorted.
That stinks.
That's it. So
yeah.
no nicknames. Whatever. I'll respond to any long eval sound.
Yeah.
Keith, please. Steve, Kevin. That's
I'm
fine.
Steve. I do want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for coming out on here tonight. Like it's amazing that I was able to talk to you and have you come on here.
Yeah, thank you for setting
Yes,
aside
thank
some
you.
time. This is great.
Oh no, I appreciate it. Thanks for thinking of me. Unlike my age, no, I really appreciate it. I appreciate being on. And I'm a nerd. Had an Apple IIc. It's 16. In January of '86. Was in band and theater and total nerd.
I was in band. I was in theater. I didn't have an Apple. My parents were poor. I had a Commodore 64.
Oh, we had a
I
Atari.
bought my own Apple.
And then
wasn't-
NES.
That was, yeah, no.
I was in the woods
Apple,
with a stick, cutting
but-
down ferns, pretending I was a warrior.
What?
That's
You
about
never
right.
did that?
In the 80s?
No, 90 in the 2000s.
Oh, we're talking about the 80s.
I'm a young lad.
I played.
I was just a few years old.
Oh yeah, Leisure
Wasn't even
Suit
born.
Larry.
Leisure
not born
Suit
yet.
Larry,
Oh,
Land of the
Jesus.
Lounge Lizards. Woo.
You know what's funny is I
Yeah.
actually looked on my iPhone the other day as to whether or not they have a game for it, and they do.
What, Leisure Suit Larry?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an adult rated game.
You never played the game?
No, I absolutely played the
Oh.
game.
Yeah. It was all,
I couldn't get past going into the bathroom.
ah,
I got stuck in the stall.
ah.
Is that what they call it?
I'm assuming. Yep, exactly that, Dave.
So Keith, what do you got going on? You're in Agawam,
No, next week.
or you're in Agawam
Next
next week?
Yeah, going to Agawam next week for Agawam Theater and also pop culture bookstore, comic book shop. And then following day in another state. But so a whole weekend we're coming out of LA and then a series of autograph conventions throughout the year. Texas, we're looking at you. And go to my Instagrams and all that stuff, and we'll post as the cons come up.
That's
Oh, awesome.
awesome.
Also, yeah, where can they find you on Instagram and all the socials?
Website is keithcooganonline.com, and that links off to everything, including my Flickr account.
Oh, man.
I would leave
Vero?
my Friendster up there, but that's shut down. MySpace, that's looking good. Go
Yes.
back to MySpace and try to log in and see what they've done to your page. It's fun.
I try and do it every few years just to keep it alive. But what?
Oh.
So what have you been up to recently? Before we get
Oh,
into questions about other things.
Oh, the same. I work 9 to 5. I am a tour guide at Sony Studio Tours. Audition, of course. Work. I got a couple things out. Amazon Prime is on our own, a series, and what's the Quarantine Bunch show about former child stars that secret ex-child actor meetings that they used to meet up in person. They have to move them online because of quarantine, and then a deranged fan crashes them. It's very anti-comedy. Think Too Many Cooks. 2 films coming out, team of 2, and what is the Wrong Reasons? Ooh, Wrong Reasons. They play a douchey network anchor, much like an Anderson Cooper.
Oh, oh, and well, so you were in like the child star thing and everything, and playing a douchey character, Tale of Two Corys.
Yes,
So you were in that, yeah, as a manager, right? Was
yes,
it one of
I
their
think
managers?
I was somebody sent to actually
Or-
be the guardian for one of the kids, and then
Yes.
of course
So-
because that
so-
was traumatizing. And I know that there are, just like in real life, with kids in school or church groups or neighbors or whatever, a percentage, there's a horrible issue with it. Helped that my mother was 3 feet standing behind me 24/7. She'd go to the bathroom with me, so I was very lucky in that sense. And further wish to protect, my family's more focused on the labor stuff, the Coogan Act, the law, as far as we can do
Yes.
background checks with adults that work with children. 15% of the money put aside, 3 hours of school, and working hour restrictions, no overtime, and the hours get smaller the younger you are.
Yeah, your
That's all.
grandfather helped put that together, right? The Coogan Act in California,
Yeah, he did. It
or helped
also
usher that in.
he was kind of the world's first film child star, and the market exploded
Yes,
after that with
yeah.
Jackie Cooper and Shirley Temple and Judy Garland, and they, all of them were making millions of dollars.
Mhm.
They also, in California, where all these films are being made, a minor can't sign a contract.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. How do you do a slate of films and Andy Hardy pictures with these underage kids? Well, there had to be a mechanism to be able to have a liability for them if they decided to go to the beach on Monday morning instead of coming to work, because a minor cannot sign a contract. It's unenforceable in California. So the Coogan Act gave all of these things to kids, kind of like adults, extra protections, but then also pinned them down to be liable if they don't show up on set. It's interesting. You should read the Coogan Act. It's almost more focused on that, of how it benefits the studios, treating them like an adult, than it does the other way around. However, it's benefited every kid in some way, even those that may have lost their money. Well, they at least they got paid overtime, or they didn't have to do overtime, or and there's still enough violations, and you see like I think Twilight Zone the movie, and John Landis, terrible tragedy. But then you also
I
see it
remember hearing
continues
about
on
that. That
sets
was
with
crazy.
rust and a firearm going off. Who's to say that somebody wouldn't have had a kid on the set? If they allowed a real gun and adults on the set, hey, kids too. So, you remember the Landis thing?
Yeah, that the fact that there's even a video of it is pretty freaking crazy. We're talking about the same thing, the helicopter, right?
Yeah, we were shooting Adventures of Babysitting while the trial was going on.
Oh, wow.
And so they were very adamant about Maya Bruton never working past midnight. They go, nope. And I'm like, this is a night shoot. It cuts down like all the hours she can work. And they're like, nope, she cannot.
No feeding after midnight. Also another Christopher
So we got
Columbus.
a Canadian girl that stuck my Sarah's clothes on the Canadian girl. She had her do all the lines. Look, ooh, Thor, mighty god of thunder, eh?
Speaking of getting an older person playing a younger person, I read something the other day that you were 22 when you played Kenny in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
I would say 20. It came out in 91. We shot it in 90, and I was born in 70, and I was not old enough to drink. I know this because I had my stand-in buy me beer. So and I think I'm a year or than Christina, but playing her younger brother, and that's common for me, at least.
I also
I'm not
read
a tall
a thing.
kid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also read a thing that you had originally gotten turned down for the role of Kenny because you were too old, and you left, got a wig, got some stoner gear, came back, and you immediately got the part.
Yeah, in a nutshell,
Is that true?
I had asked my agent. I was auditioning for the Josh Charles role and had read the script. And after reading it and seeing the Josh Charles role, I said, in my family, I always said, don't repeat the same part because you get typecast. And so don't do two nerds in love with the babysitter, And I said, okay, I just done that with babysitting. So who's the brother? That Kenny looks like a great part. And my agent said, you're too old. I went, okay. So I went in and I auditioned for the Josh Charles part, Brian, the clown dog boy. And when leaving the audition, I turned around to Sharon Bialy and I said, hey, can I come back in a few minutes and show you something? She said, sure, Keith. And I went to the car, changed into my Kenny kit. Chris Young from PCU and Max Headroom and Great Outdoors. He helped me put together the kit. We had coincidentally been working on Stoner cooking show, cooking with, Doug and Bob and Dave or something like that. They couldn't even make toast. Dude, I don't know. Where's the toaster, man? And coincidentally, so maybe that's why I was attracted to Kenny, because I was workshopping these, Bob and Doug or whatever. They were not Bob and Doug McKenzie, but they were cooking with Dave, some Ken and Dave, or cooking with something like that. And so then I went in, kicked the door open in costume, and it's the director and producers and casting director. And I said, all right, who's in charge? Rock and roll. And blacked out, don't remember the audition. And then a few days later, I got the call that I got it.
Oh, that's awesome. So the typecasting thing, when your family, they had a big thing, like don't get typecast, don't go into TV because just do guest spots, all that stuff, because they'd be like, you get typecast. And that was after your grandfather was Uncle Fester, the original, correct?
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And so
and
I
the world's
was thinking,
most hated man on Brady Bunch. He was the one with the car accident, and Cindy has to lie in court, and he's.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose you? Frozen?
Oh no.
Michael Sullivan here.
Oh, there you
Sullivan. Okay. Someone's trying to call me on Messenger or something. I don't know why. Please don't call me on Messenger. I don't have the time. And I don't mean that in a douchey way. I'm literally driving on Mulholland, or I'm here, or cooking, or sleeping, or at work, or auditioning, or at an autograph convention, or at an airport, and on a plane. And I don't mean it in a dicky way. Me and Pinky have decided to do every single fan outreach that we can. And so just by the skin of our teeth, I'm a healthy kind of sleep. I could use a little more sleep would be nice. But yeah, so whoever just called me on, I don't know who that was. Okay, anyway, go on.
Well, we appreciate it. But,
I'm very open to my fans. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I do have a fan page, but I said, let's just fill that up with real friends in high school and workmates and fellow celebrities and fans. So I get these messages from other celebrities that go, who is this? It says they're a friend of yours. And I go, I don't know. They're a fan, I guess. And
me being one of them.
With typecasting, do you think typecasting is really a thing now? Because now you look at like Robert Downey Jr. is always going to be Iron Man, but everyone loves seeing him in everything else. Chris Evans is always going to be Captain America, but everyone loves seeing him. So do you think that the typecasting now, it's almost like now it's more like brand recognition? I don't know. It's not the same anymore.
You're exactly right. And the only reason we're worried about it is because Richie Cunningham and Fonzie, and so yes, branding, and that's just a shortcut because we've shortened our attention spans. You could sit down, watch WKRP in Cincinnati. There's tons of full episodes on YouTube, free, and you will see character development, pacing, pauses, just an absolute taking your time with something with their 23 minutes of network television. Today it is 2 pages a minute. It's super rapid fire. Everyone's throwing it away and they're just ripping through them. And I go, everything has a beat. And then perhaps that's why I'm not booking as much. I got on The Rookie on ABC recently, the Nathan Fillion show.
Yep.
But it would fit me particularly. So I will wait for those types of roles, or a director that really wants to, hey, what's Keith Coogan doing? But I do like to, I don't know, work it a little bit more. Because remember the 80s, the movies were kind of memorable and characters. And you got Sean Astin, you've got Rudy, and you've got Mikey and Samwise. None of those are the same kind of, branding though. And there are some of us like Corey Feldman. He branded early at 12, 13 with the hats and the thing and the dancing, and he continued it and turned it into music. It goes on tours, puts out albums, and unwavered from that. Madonna, we noticed, would come out with her big album. Okay, she's got this look. Wow, revolutionary. These girls are copying the Madonna look and everything. And the next album, a different look. She changed her hair. The music's different. So she was rebranding herself every 2 years with an album. It was interesting. You could see an image and connect it to a song in a certain in a certain album. And then she'd move on to the next phase. And some people didn't like a phase, and she'd maybe lose some fans or pick up some more and then keep kind of morphing. And that's a real artist. I'm just a hack. I just need a funny, quick supporting character, as they say.
You are not a hack.
Slackers and wannabes.
You have been in some awesome stuff.
I'm really good at I'm a surgeon who's really good at skin tags. I can't take out your appendix. I can't do any sort of thing, but I could go in there and get a skin tag and you're done. Oh my God, it looks great. That's me. I'm a surgeon, but like a dentist is a doctor.
Do you still keep in? So when did you meet Corey Feldman? Because you were on Fox and the Hound together as voice actors, but did you guys interact?
Oh, we probably met on the Mattel commercial when I was the hand model, the hand double for his kid was playing with like a Mattel plastic train thingy.
Yeah.
And then they break him for school, and then to do the close up, they just use me, but my face isn't in it.
Oh,
And
so,
then we
yeah,
did
'cause I
Fox and the.
you've been like interweaving, yeah, with them. So it's that, and then like I was wondering, like when you got that Tale of Two Corys, right? Were you able to talk to him and be like, hey, you're like, did he know about it? He like, hey, guess what I'm doing, or guess what part I'm doing? Like, did you keep in contact with him? And then was that like, what was that like?
But we then we did Fox and the Hound. Then we did Kid with the Broken Halo. See each other at all auditions. See each other at all the kids, the award shows, the events, the premieres, the parties, the fundraisers, softball games. There's a community of 20, 30, maybe 40 of us, the same age, the same type. And as you get older, kids start adding to who's Corey Haim, who's River Phoenix, who's Christian Slater, and those are the people I was worried about. When they walked in the room, I went, shit. I'm totally sorry if I curse. Can I curse? Is that okay?
Oh, you can curse.
Oh, we say
We do it all the time.
We
All the
say
fucking time.
Yep.
So everybody
we go.
books different. Like like I went up for The Shining, and me and Corey were very close, but Danny Lloyd got it. So then at Goonies, there's 10 kids around a plexiglass pirate, one-eyed Willie pirate ship that's about this big, and we're all talking about the story and the ideas and stuff. And I look across and say, I'm going up for Mouth, and I see Corey and go, hey Corey, who are you auditioning for? And he goes, Mouth, and I went, fuck. He's gonna get it. I mean, he's known for the impressions and the improv, and he's quick. And I'm like, I'm kind of shy and really need to kind of study my lines. And my improv is the series of 4 choices I made at 2:00 in the morning the night before, making notes, like if and then statements in my comedy. So Corey's a little more naturally talented than I am. Then I get a thing called 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, but my mom's going to give birth to my little brother, and it shoots in Salinas, and she doesn't want to give birth up there. Give it to second choice, River Phoenix. You go up for a part, and you think you're going to get it, and you see it's casting Mary Jo Slater, Christian Slater's mom. Not that she casted because it's her son, but because he was the best for it. Sure. You go in, you go out for things you're terribly wrong for. Farmer Ted, Lloyd Dobler. I went up for Stand By Me, Christmas Story, The Toy. Didn't get any of those. But I got Fox and the Hound, Cheetah, Adventures Babysitting, Hiding Out, Cousins, Don't Tell My Babysitter's Dead. I've done ski movies, surf movies, ninja movies, a giant snake movie, all the good movies and half of the bad ones. And if someone calls me and they have gone SAG, ultra modified scale, low budget, will pay you in a Pepsi, I will show up and play.
That's awesome. Well, and you grew up in Malibu.
The poor part of Malibu.
Yes. And you just I was watching some interviews with you. Yeah, and you did all the normal things, even though you come from this Hollywood royalty and stuff, and you just had public school, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great. That I think it shows. It shows like in a good way. Like you're very grounded.
Grounded, so. My mom, I got a whippings, and I had lots of chores to do. And because of the show business family, it started with like great grandparents and vaudeville and grandfather, and my mom was a comedy writer. And so I didn't get any points for getting a Silver Spoons episode. I got points for picking up the dog shit and making the beds and taking out the trash.
Nice.
I mean, at least that's much better having like a parent that doesn't treat you differently because you have, a career like bigger than they do, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I've kind of put something together. I was not afraid of success or failure after, because of my grandfather's story. He would tell me, oh, Hollywood's very cyclical. He had a huge shoot up, as a 5-year-old, and then was a has-been by 13. And so I knew that. I knew that going in, that you're going to have your moments and it's going to go up and down.
Oh, well, let's see. So I recently saw Pauly Shore on his YouTube. I don't know if you. Yes. So
Oh
he
no, I
just. I
shared
think
it
it was just
immediately. I've
few
commented
days
on
ago.
it. It's the greatest thing he's shared.
It was a screen test, correct, for Encino Man, which you were going to be in one of the leads, and
Mm-mm,
the action instead of
mm-mm.
Brendan
Ben
Fraser,
Stiller.
it
No,
was
that's incorrect. But continue.
it was Ben Stiller was Brendan Fraser's part.
Correct.
He was Encino Man.
Yes.
It was Ben Stiller was the caveman, and it was
Yes.
you and I don't know the other actor's name.
Jeff
John Astin.
Maynard.
Oh,
Jeff Maynard.
However, I
Um,
was never under consideration. This was a favor. It was called a director's test.
Yep.
Keith, would you do a director's test for Les Mayfield? He's trying to get the job and get the movie made. We got Ben Stiller. Do you know somebody who could play Harold? And I went, oh, Jeff's perfect. I'll grab, because I went to Samuel High with Jeff and we'd done plays together, formed a theater company together. So the three of us workshopped and rehearsed. Imagine going to Ben Stiller's house and rehearsing Encino Man. We come in and we shoot next door to a 976 hotline. So all these porn stars, strippers are coming in throughout the day while we're busting our butts
Nice.
over in the little bedroom set.
oh,
And we shot 52 setups or different camera angles in a 12-hour day. Bang. And that's why it's cut quick, like a Phil Giuano picture, like 3 o'clock high, cameras on rails and handheld and lots of different shots and stuff that, kind of follows and up and over. It's very choreographed, but also really quickly paced. And I'd heard after we did it, this was not an audition. They said, this is not an offer. This isn't an audition. This is not a test for you. I don't know on Ben's end. I don't think he was ever available with the schedules. You could always hope that a schedule slips. If I'm already doing something in August. Oh, this new thing really wants to see you. When's the shoot? August. Fine. My grandfather said, say yes to everything because something will fall out or you could push something or you might have some leverage. So Ben was not available. And Pauly, though, and I also forget my part of where I was with Disney at this time. So I had already done Fox and the Hound and Spooner and Gun Shy, which is the Apple Dumpling Gang series, Adventures in Babysitting, in the Army now for Disney. Had already gone off and done a Paramount picture or Warner Brothers picture, a TriStar picture, and so I wanted it because I thought it was interesting and fun to develop it. Notice the names. His name was BC. And of course, Harold became Stoney, did. And I'm friends with Pauly. Look at In the Army Now, where I basically am dressed up like Pauly at the very end of it. It's a very weird industry where everybody rips off of each other. And I went to Second City.
Stoner #1 in that movie.
Yes. And then my other friend.
Uh-oh.
What just happened? Uh-oh. We lost him.
Oh, no.
He'll be back in a second, guys. But while we're waiting, we might as well, pop one of these.
Oh,
here
he's
he
back.
is.
Hey, he's back.
You can add him.
Come on back.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Stoner
we
number
missed
2
you.
was Matthew Walker.
There you are. Yep.
And me, Jeff Maynard, and Matthew Walker all went to high school together. We were all in shows together. And founded the Troubadour Theater Company, which you can see out around town to this day.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's
So yeah, no harm, no foul. I was burnt because my price was like X, and I heard that they offered Sean 3X. And I went, well, it makes sense. Sean's marvelously talented. His movies have made more money. I get it. There's always a different, I was paid fine and handsomely. However, other actors were paid handsomelier.
Oh man, and let's see. So you were friends with Pauly.
Yes,
So I also saw that you do some stand up or did.
I did. I've done it twice, so means I had a really great show, and I've also bombed.
Oh, nice. So you got
the whole
you got both.
spectrum of stand up.
I was gonna say. So did you ever go? Did you know Mitzi and go to the store and?
Now we wrote. Went to all of the stores. My mom was a stand up, and we also wrote for other comics. we wrote John Wayne Bobbitt's Sleeping on Your Stomach tour, and we trained him as to do stand-up. We'd write for Letterman, Leno, and Dennis Miller. And funny,
Oh, wow.
Letterman and Leno would pay $50 a joke, but Dennis Miller would pay $75 because
Ooh.
he wrote most of his own material and relied on less outside material. So if he really liked a joke, he's like, all right, I'll pay you for that one. So yeah, comedy, right? So it turned at one point, it physically hurt and was nauseous to be in a comedy club watching 8 comics fake laugh at another comic with the politics, the thing, the repeated jokes, the premises, the setup, the thing. I was completely done with the comic scene. I've only done comedy recently when somebody said, would you do this virgin sacrifice? You must have never done stand-up. You have to entirely write your own act and promote it the way that they wanted me to promote it. And I had Brian Callum and oh my God, a slew
Fighter
of
in the
amazing.
Pit and-
Bobcat was backstage for it.
Oh,
And they
nice.
all open for you, and then you go out. And so that's on YouTube if you want to see my first time doing stand-up.
Yes.
Definitely need to
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah, I
talk
started it
total
and stuff.
shit.
I was taking some notes. We're totally gonna watch that all together.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm a huge stand-up fan, so I had to ask about that. And I know that Paulie's mom was, very pivotal in the comedy scene. So
It's fun.
you
I
were
don't think
around
people
all
do-
the Goonies, basically.
Oh,
How are you
yes.
not in that movie?
Man, I know. That was
You
rough.
should be
rough
a
not getting
Goonie.
that.
And Ki Hugh Kwan was an Encino Man. Like you're just circling the Goonies forever.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know.
I'm
I'm aware.
I'm sorry.
Just rub it in.
Just rubbing that.
Yeah. Oh, and also here's the heartbreaker when I watched Goonies, because we all know who Sean is fantastic, and he's a fantastic lead. He carries a picture. He can do anything. But Jeff Cohn, when he cries and he's confessing to the Fratellis, I cheated on this thing, and oh my God, and they're going to put his fingers in the blender. I went, that is a vulnerability I am not willing as a kid, because kids don't want to show the vulnerability. Teenager, you're tough. Yeah. I went, that's balls. That's great work. I thought Jeff Cohen he blew me away in Goonies. Still does.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. My thing is just full of notes.
It's when you lean
everywhere.
over to your mom and you go, hey, that's nice work. And she goes, that's a good scene, right? And also, by the way, into movies, I know what the audition scene is. And so it's like, oh, it's tough because you memorize that. So the scene
Yep.
comes up in the movie, you went up for 35 years ago or whatever, and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember this as the audition.
Oh, which one was it?
Wow. I can't remember on Goonies. Couldn't remember. Couldn't tell you.
You
However,
just
Chris
blocking it
Columbus
out.
wrote Goonies and Gremlins and Young Sherlock
Yep.
Holmes, and then cast me in Adventures of Babysitting.
That's what I'm saying.
So
That
it's
it's all.
all
It was
connected.
just all swirling around you.
Yeah. And then he directed Home Alone, and there is a lawn jockey that gets hit in Adventures of Babysitting, and a lawn jockey that gets hit in Home Alone, and in Home Alone 2. So starting in Adventures of Babysitting, you'll see a running gag, and he said that was a Landis gag.
Oh, so do you? This is just coming personally because do you get mistaken for someone else?
Danny Bonaducci, Will Wheaton.
That's the one. Younger me would confuse both of you, and then you guys were both together in Toy Soldiers.
Python, Toy Soldiers,
Python.
and Tales from the Crypt. Now, he dies in Toy Soldiers. Spoiler alert. I die in Tales from the Crypt. Will dies in Python. So if
Which
we work
Tales of the
together
Crypt is
again,
that?
I'm due to die.
Yeah.
Will and I, or me and Will, Will and I would play Axis and Allies with Sean Phelan, who played Yogurt in Toy Soldiers. We try to get Sean in for a minute, but Sean's totally ADD, and I don't mean that in the bad. He really is ADD.
Me too.
It's hard to sit him down for 9 hours while Hitler invades Europe. Funny, Sean Phelan always played Hitler and he was good at it. It was kind of scary too. He's younger than us, and I was like, oh, he wants to take over the world. We miss him. He's gone. He car wreck and coma, and we lost Yogurt, and it's really sad. But I really know how to bring the room down, don't I?
Yeah.
Toy Soldiers was a movie that every single kid in town wanted to get on. Even after auditions, rounds of auditions, we'd all go over to Copper Penny, which is kind of like a Denny's thing across from Warner Brothers Studios. We sat on the patio, and half of them smoking to look cool, and just talk about like how cool with helicopters and the guns, and hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? This, one guy would be in training camp for Hamburger Hill, and the other guy would be, it just was it's a neat time because everyone absolutely was working. You knew, oh, tough guy, leather jacket. They're gonna do a brunette. Yeah, he's gonna get it. The Ralph Macchio type, yeah. Or, you see something and I'm like, oh, bowl cut, name ends in a Y sound, Timmy, Bobby, Jimmy. That's mine. I got that. I love the characters like Snuffy in Toy Soldiers, or Brad, or Kenny, or all of them. I love the each character just has a way of approaching things and a thought process, and hopefully that's what gets the laughs in those things. And for Toy Soldiers, the relationship. I had a relationship with Sean Astin. His father and my grandfather were Gomez and Uncle Fester in the original Addams Family. I've known Sean since we were kids. Will, we'd known each other and had done benefits and things and auditioned against each other and with each other for a decade. It's really neat to work with your friends. That's why Don't Tell Mom, having known Christina and two of the stoner friends of mine as friends, and we all wound up doing Don't Tell Mom the Babysitters together. I always wanted to work with her. I never thought I would. I thought she's too A-list. And then she had finished the first season of Don't Tell Mom, and in the summer hiatus, first season of Married with Children. Yeah, and then the hiatus did Don't Tell Mom.
And then you guys did that in like 3 months, I believe.
We did it. It took 3 months to shoot a movie back then. 3 months
in
to shoot
summer with no AC.
In the summer with no AC in Valencia.
Oh,
that's disgusting.
Oh, real quick before
it's the same house in the opening credits of Just the 10 of Us, the series.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna write that down. As I was in the Marines, so how was Arlie Ermy?
Arlie Ermy, oh my God. So
I have to ask that. As a Marine, I have to ask.
Oh my God. So, he's great. It was between him or Dale R. Dye, or is it Dale Dye? They were the two military, consultants for Hollywood. It was either Dale A. Dye or Arlie Ermy. And, I had done Adventures in Babysitting with Vincent D'Onofrio, who had worked with Kubrick, and all I did was pester Vincent the whole day. It was like I was working Kubrick. What happened? How many takes did you do? And then we get to Arlie Ermy, and he's the sweetest, back stiff as a board. He had a injury on his middle finger. The tendon kind of connected from his second knuckle to his hand, so it stuck out like a trigger finger. And when he shook your hand, you'd feel it, and you go, "More injury. Oh my God, respect." It was probably Jeep overturning or something in a training accident that broke his collarbone and took him out of filming Full Metal Jacket for months. And Kubrick goes, "I'll wait."
That's awesome. I never heard that.
Yeah, well, everyone was kind of a badass, but no one was more badass than Louis Gossett Jr. Because you want to double, and helicopters are dangerous. Look at the John Landis thing, and they go, "We need a shot of like." We're kind of zoomed in on Lewis, in the helicopter, and we come on down and it lands and he gets out. Like, we want to see him in the chopper. And they're like, "All right, let us know when you want him to land." What? He's already in the chopper. So he was already up. He's ready to do the shot. They got a beautiful in one take of, you're like, Louis Gossett Jr. just rode a chopper and kind of stepped off it real casually. Yeah, that was the whole cast. Andrew Devoff, who, he's a polyglot, speaks 9 languages. He is one of those sweet teddy bears. Remember, every single bad guy was a theater major at Juilliard. They were in character in town in Charlottesville, Virginia, a college town. And it's a 40-minute ride from where the hotel was to where the Miller Academy, same school from Major Payne. On the VHS cover of Major Payne,
love that movie as well.
Recognize that silhouette and go, that is the school from Toy Soldiers.
Oh, no kidding. I was just thinking about Major Payne earlier today.
Why?
It won't have the wall.
Because Marlon Wayans was supposed to be the original Robin. And I saw an interview with Marlon Wayans. He was supposed to be the original Robin in Batman Returns. And
I read that Sam Hamm script. I read the Sam Hamm Batman.
Really? So he actually did a fitting of the outfit. Marlon Wayans did it, like a fitting of the Robin outfit.
Really?
And then they had never made up the movie. And so I was just watching a random interview with him today or yesterday, and I was just thinking about, because he was talking about his whole family making those movies, and I was like, Major Payne, Marine.
Well, his brother Damon and I did get to audition for a Homie the Clown feature. That never
yes.
I'm gonna play that.
Yes. That's so great.
My direction, play it like you're on Quaaludes. And I went, okay.
That's a great direction.
Yeah, Toy Soldiers is amazing. Directed by Dan Petrie Jr., who wrote Beverly Hills Cop, Turner and Hooch, The Big Easy. Wow. His brother directed the Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon pictures. And his father directed like Dick Van Dyke shows. Petrie is what Dick Van Dyke's last name is on the Dick Van Dyke Show. So they're a whole, industry family too. And the only reason I got cast as me and the director had read all the Tom Clancy books at that time. It was like Hunt for Red October and Red Storm Rising. And we're talking about Klishnikovs and, helicopters, Blackhawks and Apaches. And I had an Apple II, so it was like there was a submarine game, kind of, sort of, that was okay.
Oh man, so that so Adventures in Babysitting, was the first, what was the first movie that
on camera feature Adventures
on
in
camera, not animated?
I was cut out of the Cat from Outer Space.
Oh, I did see that on the credits. What was the most impressive set when you walked in? You're like, holy shit, look at this.
Let me think. Adventures in Babysitting, they had the Chop Shop was a set. And behind that, they were building the parents' office building floors. And it was the same floor that was under construction as the party. They just redressed that set. That was pretty impressive. Impressive sets. Oh, the Waltons. The Waltons, that entire family home on Stage 26 at Warner Brothers. The ground floor. Next to it was the upstairs bedrooms. Across from that, behind you was the interior of Ike and Cora Godfrey's store. And then next to that, behind so if you're facing the living room, behind you is the Baldwin sisters' mansion. You could stand on that one stage and shoot 40 to 50% of a Waltons episode. And then you go run around the back lots and get the rest. And they also had a Stage 24, I think, with the Dewdrop Inn and swing sets. But next to us, they shot the Long Riders, and the Western with the Carradine brothers, the Keach brothers, like every brother that in Westerns, and it's like 9 of these. But they also shot the night the bridge fell down. It was a movie of the week. And so I peeked into the soundstage, and they had an entire bridge, and part of it went up and has broken off because the bridge that fell, and there's a center island with cars and trucks stuck on it, and then it was also broken off, and then the other end of it with painted lines and guardrails, and it was probably the most elaborate set I had ever seen. That one, I didn't work on it, but and Super Train. I did 1979. It was a nuclear train that go from LA to New York. LA to Chicago in 32 hours. That's not that fast, but it was 2 stories and a swimming pool and a disco and a hair salon and a bowling alley and elevators. And Dick Van Dyke was in it. Worked with Dick Van Dyke 3 times, and then the 3rd time, Diagnosis Murder, I brought it up. Hey, Dick, we did this like after school special, this animated thing. We did the other Super Train and this. He goes, I don't remember those. He didn't remember even working on the projects.
Oh my God! Wow. Oh, he's done a million things.
Yeah. So Super Train had a full Grand Central Station and on the MGM lot, and it had full-size train. and all the little vendors and stalls and ticket booths and a big fake painted Wile E. Coyote tunnel that looked like it went off and curved, but you got up close and you could see it's just a painted backdrop. Coolest stage.
That is cool. Steve?
So it looks like you're drinking a beer. Are you do you like craft beers at all?
Oh, Heineken.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So part of our episodes is we generally do a beer review and this month we're actually doing cheap beers. Behind us we have like
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock, Keystone Light, Coors Banquet, Natural
Natty Light. Colin, what's the one
Natty
that
Light.
you're picking up?
Genesee
The
Cream
squeak
Ale.
in the foam.
I'm
I
gonna
got some
be picking
Heinies.
nice.
up. Heineken, we got to do that one too.
Oh, we got to pick up Heineken.
But so for you, we decided to get special, and we're doing this Equilibrium.
Equilibrium out of New York. It's a double IPA.
It's called MC
right.
Squared.
is.
Their slogan is beer brewed by science.
Yeah.
Or beer balanced by science.
It is 8%.
What I was
Now,
thinking is
a good
you're going to be
IPA.
here. Oh, sorry.
Should
Good IPA.
smell like stinky cheese. You want to hit that, you kind of want to go, ooh, whoa, I think the yeast is still active. Yeah, when 8%,
There's our
that's
ASMR.
a shot. That's not, I mean,
Yeah.
you can hit
I-
6s and 7s, and that's decent, but 8, you're really flirting with disaster there.
I only drink a little bit of this. I'm a whiskey guy, but I join in whenever we
Is it
rake
lemony?
beers.
Is it wheaty? What are you hitting?
Let's see.
Orangey?
More
Nutty.
bitter.
It's a little more bitter than
Yeah.
Oh,
most.
orange.
Yeah, it's
Orange
super
peel.
orange.
Yeah, slight orange. It's kind of like the orange rind bitterness.
Yeah.
Is what it tastes like.
It tastes like orange rind.
If you're interested, I will. I'll bring one to you next week at the cinemas.
Yeah.
Bring you some beer.
Hell yeah!
Heck
I'll
yeah.
bring you one of these.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Please, that's perfect. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Is
I
Keith
mean-
Coogan drinking at Agawam Cinema? I think he is. I'm not sure.
You're gonna need some beers. You're in Agawam.
Oh, buddy.
Wow,
Jeff
is that
said,
the billboard
"Where's the
outside of
past?"
town? You're gonna need some beers. You're in Agawam.
Oh yeah, where's the Pabst? We do have to get past. So I was trying to find PBR Light. They do have a light one, but it is like
Why?
impossible to find out here.
That's-
Why?
That's redundant.
PBR Light?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
redundant.
You good?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him
dog
to
shit.
ask why.
Why? Why?
That's always a good question.
I fucking hate PBR.
Getting PBR. Why?
Yeah.
No,
No, we got to rate it. It's cheap beer month. I don't want actually. I'm not even a beer guy. Just liquor.
Oh yeah.
These guys love beer.
So one of the questions we ask any guest we have is, and I mean, I followed your career for the most
babe.
part.
Sorry, wife. Yes. Oh, continue.
No,
Thank you.
um,
Thank you for following the career. For
No,
the most part. Same
Well,
with
no,
me.
I don't mean it that way. I mean, I followed.
Not creepily.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Not stalkers, just borderline.
That's the way of trying to say it. But we ask all the guests, what's your origin story? Like, how did you get started
And I know you've probably been asked this. but-
in show business?
My mother was a 16-year-old Catholic schoolgirl runaway, turned into a hippie. Had nothing to do with her Catholic grandfather or father, Jackie Coogan. So I was born without the name. I was born baby boy Mitchell. So had nothing to
nickname.
do with the family. Grew hit 4, and we're in Sacramento living on welfare, and I'm watching Sesame Street. And I say the famous words, "I want to be on TV." And my mom is like, "Really? Like,
The fuck you do?
like it's
It's
got to
in
be
your blood."
DNA or something." She knows all about
Yep.
the business and her dad and what it's all about and everything. She goes, "Well," she knows the money's good. She goes, "Well, you have to get an agent, and you're gonna have to probably do, commercials first, and then, guest appearances and movies of the week, and then maybe small bits of features, and eventually." Anyway, that sounds like a lot of work. And she goes, "Yeah, especially commercials. You have to sing the jingles. My baloney has a first name." I'm like, "Nah, I am not interested." And she said, several months later, a couple of her friends were over, and I became very gesticulative, jumped up on a table, and "My baloney has a first name. It's O.S." I was just biting my tongue. Did it like the most uncomfortable thing I've probably ever done. And I said, okay, I'm ready, whatever it takes. I want to be on TV. So
How awkward
she
is
had
that
tried
starting?
at 10. My mom could not take direction or listen to anybody. So at 10, she actually got an agent, Don Schwartz, and got a Hershey's commercial, Hershey's chocolate syrup. And she's in the commercial, they're shooting, and she drinks it, and she goes, I like Bosco better. Fired and never worked again. But she took me to her childhood agent, whom, let's see, she's now 21. So who just 11 years earlier she had been at. So I go in at 5, I read the script and the thing, and he goes, here's a Texaco commercial with like a page of dialogue, and I could read. We didn't have money, but my mom had Cat in the Hat books, and I read all that stuff. So they go, do you need a minute? And I go, nope, got it. And I'm like, at Texaco, we value families. And so they just, he goes, great. I can't wait to get him out and tell everyone I got Jackie Coogan's grandson. And my mom goes, no. He's going to go by Keith Mitchell. You can't tell them that. And he goes, why would you hamstring me? Why would you let me not tell people this is the kid's kid? And she goes, well, nothing worse for an actor than not knowing why they got apart. So anonymously for 10 years, I worked as Keith Mitchell in all the commercials, all the TV, starting with McDonald's commercials to ending with McDonald's commercials. Did everything, Cool Whip and Kool-Aid and cereals and toys. Then started doing TV. As my mother said, well, she knows what Hollywood's all about. So I started doing Chips and Love Boat, Fantasy Island, 8 is Enough, Mork and Mindy, Laverne and Shirley, The Waltons, Little House, After School Specials, Scholastic Specials. I was in this thing. I don't know if you've ever, I don't know the age group here. It's Ray Bradbury's All Summer in a Day on a planet where it's raining, and I locked this girl in a closet, and it's just, anyway, they played this thing in schools, and people are like, you tortured me as a kid. And you're building this and taking stabs at those rings. So ever since I was young enough to go up for The Shining, probably 7 or 8, I am going up for big things. Friday the 13th Part 4 and The Stone Boy. And I just different. Like it was a Robert Duvall picture. And so then, and Fox and the Hound came and went because we started in 78 doing the voices, and it came out in 81. The delayed release because Don Bluth left Disney and took half the animators, and it was supposed to come out in 80, but then it was released in 81. Anyway,
is that when one movie, what is it? The Black Cauldron? Is that what screwed that up? As well as that
Secret of Nim and Black Cauldron.
Yeah, they all got kind of fucked up.
Yeah. They were about to do Secret of Nim, and Disney said it's way too dark. You can't do it. And Don Bluth formed his own company and then did Secret of Nim. And Disney did Black Cauldron, and it did not go over well with fans. So that was tough. But it was they consider Fox and the Hound the pull out of the nosedive.
So out of curiosity, you said you tried out for Friday the 13th Part 4. Were you trying out the role of Tommy Jarvis?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There it is. He's a huge.
You can't really see
on his arm.
I have a full Jason mask on my arm.
And I've worked with Amanda Rigetti from the newer Friday the 13th. So.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I am a huge
that's another
Halloween was it. Halloween, and then Friday the 13th, and then Freddy came along with a little bit more of a budget and a lot of creativity. And then Slasher or Shocker, and other people tried. Oh, then we had themed. We had Valentine's Day or My Bloody Valentine, Happy Birthday to Me. Such great films in the 80s between Cunningham and Craven and Carpenter. It was a phenomenal time. The Thing and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper. I got to work with the director of photography of Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Hiding Out. Daniel Pearl shot Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was all over him. What was it like? It's like we used a wheelchair. Like, really? We used that wheelchair? It was perfect for dolly shots. I got it.
So that sounds like it's three roles that you lost out from Feldman.
Oh man, Feldman's just scooping up here.
Oh, sure. That's probably not all it. I mean,
It's just like the fact that you said like
Feldman.
yeah, that I would do a short video in the very end of it being like, why do I always lose out to this guy? He's singing music now. What the fuck?
Yeah, people are gonna ask me, you like Corey Feldman? I'm gonna be like, I'm more of a Keith Coogan guy.
Oh fuck yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
have
what I'm gonna say now.
one of our former
I think
co-hosts
that's a
on the
pretty
show.
good 80s flashback buddy movie. Feldman, Wheaton, Coogan, and Aston.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
that'd
Hell
be
yeah.
really fucking cool. Holy shit! Let's get on that. Oh no,
We lost him again. He'll be back.
he'll be back. They always come. I'm so shiny.
Very shiny. He's back.
Hey, Andy.
Sorry. I was gonna
Yeah.
say because we'd work it, all four of us, top of our game, and we'd be pushing buttons for real buttons, in character. It would be great.
I will buy the ticket now to see that. That would
Mhm.
be fucking amazing.
What do you?
The jerk
I-
guy would be like Anthony Rapp or Bradley Whitford. It would be awesome.
We had a one of the comments on the live stream. Somebody said, "What was it like? How was it working with Anthony Rapp?"
Love Anthony so hard. It was 4 or 5 months after the Kevin Spacey incident. And
Oh wow! Was that
He-
ever
he's
mentioned to you
15?
then? Like,
no, he's 15, and most 15-year-olds aren't going to tell other kids that not at that time, not in the mid 80s ish. But Anthony's really believe was never came out because he was never in. And I went, what? You can't. And then I saw a Mark Wahlberg Rolling Stone cover where he's like talks about smoking weed, and I go, you can't do that. You're going to ruin. I always wanted to work for Disney, and my family's like, just do whatever you want, just don't ever get caught. And they were carnies, so that really surprised me. That I was like, okay, and there he is in Out magazine or Interview magazine and talking about it. I was like, wow. And then he's working. He's doing Road Trip and Far From Home and working with Drew and Andros Jones. All friends. There was a poker game with Andros Jones, Andy Dick, me, Anthony Rapp. Imagine that.
Andy Dick. That's hitter. That can be tough.
Hollywood royalty.
Holy shit.
Andy
That
Dick
guy,
is
that
the
guy, I
Mad
think
Hatter.
anxiety being around him. It's just like he's either going to be
He's the Mad
really
Hatter.
funny or like somebody's got to hit him.
Well, at any time you don't know when he's gonna go and just like
Yes. Yeah.
he's that's the fun of him. He's a live grenade. You just throw him in the middle of the room and it'll work out.
He's as fun as a live grenade.
That's crazy. So you're gonna be here next week. You're gonna be in Agawam. Tell us a little bit about the your appearance coming up.
Yvette, come out to the theater. There are some other theaters, and they are part of these big, huge conglomerate chains. And oh my god, and they get the resources to kind of like book movies, and like they have like more advertising budget and maybe more parking. Anyway, so what we want you to do is come out to Agawam Cinemas next weekend. It is on the 25th, and we are going to do autographs and selfies and play a movie. I'll do Q&A. It'll be a blast.
Oh, well, when you playing? What movie?
I think they did a poll, and it's probably got babysitter or babysitting in the title.
I was going to say, it has something to do with babysitting, I'm sure.
Whatever was easier to license.
Did
Gotcha.
Coincidentally
did it
won
bother
the
you?
poll. How's
It-
that?
Mhm.
Is that did that ever strike you as you're in two of like these crazy, awesome, big movies?
No, it's part of
And,
my
yeah, it's
stand-up
babys-
act. It's part of my act. When I'm feeling really
The-
dickish, someone goes, "Oh, I really loved you in that babysitter movie." I'll go, "Oh yeah, which one?"
Yeah.
It's
Both of
well,
them.
I always know context because people will say babysitter or babysitting. Then I know which movie they're talking about. I know
if
it
you
wasn't.
wanna
Remember,
tell-
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead was not called that when I booked it. It was called The Real World. And it was about the secret of my success working girl story of Christina at the office. It was about 70-30 office family. as we moved into production and we started filming, studio notes were make it 50-50 family office. And then we got notes that MTV called and they're doing a reality show called The Real World. And we said, what's a reality show? We changed, they pulled 12-year-old boys and the new name of the movie was Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I found it at a craft service in full Kenny outfit, leather and wig and 104 degrees outside. And I said, you're kidding me. Really? Babysitter movies? That's fine. I thought it was such a different character. It was, and it was so different. I was reading for something after that, and the casting director looked at goes, I remember your Adventures of Babysitting. You weren't in Don't Tell Mom Babysitter's Dead. What were you? And I said, I was with Kenny, the stoner brother. Eyes go wide. I don't think I booked that either. But it was, I loved playing Kenny. I just loved it. I loved it, and had so much fun with it. And it was around a lot of people that trusted, and Stephen Herrick and Bobby Newmeyer, Brian Riley and Bobby Newmeyer, the producers. They had done Sex Lies and videotape, so they're willing to take risks. They were taking risks with like $10 million of Warner Brothers money. And Joanna Cassidy. Oh my God. It was a fantastic cat. Who's the guy with the X-Files and the David Duchovny? I think it's his first on-screen role. So yeah, Don't Tell Mom. That'll be on my headstone. Here lies Keith Coogan. The dishes are done, man.
Dishes are done. Yes.
I do want to.
I'm so glad you said it. I didn't want to ask you to say it.
I spoke with the guy, the company putting on the event.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'm so sorry.
So Agawam Cinema, KeithCoogan.ticketleap.com for tickets. You can use the nerd code. Just use the code nerd, and you could buy 3, you get 1 free. So like 4 people come and nerd out. That's Agawam Cinema, KeithCoogan.ticketleap.com /#47738992.00 home / Agawam Cinema, KeithCoogan.ticketleap.com and use code nerd, and you can buy 3, get 1 free.
Oh, that is awesome.
Hot Mic Events is the name of the company.
You put copy in front of me, and I'm going to read it.
That
a professional.
I'm glad you saw it there. But I spoke with oh my God,
someone.
Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
He spoke with somebody about something, and it went well, or it didn't.
No, it went very well.
It went very well.
I'm bad with names.
I
don't remember.
Say Dave or John or William, and you're going to be like 60% right.
Yep. And then there's Mike and
Chad.
Mike,
Chad.
Right there. Mike
Mikes are big.
Oh, right
Chad,
there.
Hey.
Absolutely.
Chad at Hot Mike.
Hot Mic Events.
Hot Mic Events, and we set up a
Chad
code
Erickson
for
in the house.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey.
Super nice guy. He was amazing. And I plan on
do we have any more questions on there for him?
Oh, there's another one.
I mean, he's excited, and I love that he seemed like a genuine fan when he put up some deep cuts on the the pole, a hiding out or something like that, or under the boardwalk. I was like, okay, this is seriously looking at the whole oeuvre.
Oh, so we have another question from the watchers here. So what was
so that was
a wig that Kenny wore. You rocked it. I always thought that was your real hair because it was fit, because it fit the early 90s.
I did.
Yeah, it was wigs by Ziggy.
Your grandfather went to
Shout
him
out
too, right?
Ziggy Wigs.
Yeah, I was getting the wig done in a life cast, and he had to go in a couple times, and they're fitting the wig, and I look up on the wall, and he was about to retire. He was an ancient, classic wig maker for Hollywood. And I look on the wall, and I see a picture of my grandfather. Why do you have a picture of Jackie Coogan on your wall? And he goes, oh, in the 60s, his PR people said he needed a toupee for personal appearances. So he made him some pieces. So the same guy that made toupees for my grandfather also made Kenny's wig. And Warner Brothers archived it. So they pulled it out when the movie released, and I went on AM Los Angeles, and Steve Edwards yanked it off my head. It was great. I wouldn't break character. I was doing a waffle recipe live the day the movie was coming out. And they're like, okay, Keith, take off the wig. I'm like, dude, what wig? I don't know. And he screw it. He pulled off the wig and put it on his head. I don't know where that clip is either, but the wig is somewhere in Warner Brothers archive.
Oh, that is cool.
It cost
Filming.
$3,000, and they made 2 of them. So
Holy
they spent
shit.
$6,000 on the wigs.
Did you have to buy that yourself to like bring it
No.
to?
Now I bought a
Oh, okay.
$15
Good
wig
God.
from Burbank Hair and Makeup.
Oh, you got me something that I actually do drink. Yeah, you guys can have. This is actually really good, by the way. We didn't rate it, but this is an IPA, and if anyone follows us, they know I don't give 2 shits about IPAs, but this is actually really good, and I could drink this. But it's
I'm
a
not
little,
going to.
it's a little carb heavy.
Ooh,
So I'm switching to my
Chew your
sissy
beer.
drinks here. My Canteen cucumber mint
Mm.
vodka soda,
so
0 carbs, all the alcohol.
ooh.
All
Yeah.
of the
As
carbs.
a
for
child
me.
actor in commercials, it was ingrained in you to hold the label the right way when you took the sip.
Yeah, it's like not. It's
And
kind
to this
of.
day, I still do that. I still put the label to camera.
That's pretty awesome.
A label like that.
I know the
How do I-
label's not like lined up to where I can do that.
If I
very
do
well.
that,
So
yeah,
they
I
will
have to
hunt
go-
through cases of that the client gives them. The client gives them cases of the product, and they will hunt through and they will find the can where the label does sync up with it and use
Perfect
that as the
angle.
hero piece. How much
Oh,
storage does this StreamYard need? My goodness. Okay.
I don't know if you see to the right of me. There's a hero pack from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
What?
Dan Aykroyd is super great to fans. We went to Costco and he was promoting Crystal Skull vodka and a line all the way down Costco. And when he opened his table, he goes, anyone that's standing in line in a full outfit and pack, come on up, jump the line. He goes, I know how heavy
Oh.
that pack is.
Oh, that is cool.
What's actually kind of funny about that one is Hasbro end of 2021 they have a
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter type thing called HasLab, because if you buy or make a pack, it's $1,200 easily.
Oh my God.
This
Yeah.
through Hasbro was $400. And the packs that you build are like 30, 40 pounds. This one's only 15.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. Nice.
That thing is, and it's more impressive in person. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece.
It's my favorite.
So how's doing Comic Cons? I love going to Comic Cons. I mean,
So
we're
great.
all nerds here, so
They're great. They're the tour.
yeah.
Napster killed the music industry, so artists can't make money selling CDs, so they go on tour making
Metallica
$100
killed
grand a
them.
night. So actors can't make any money with residuals and streamers, so we go to autograph conventions and try to sell autographs and dishes. I signed dishes. Dishes.
I
are done,
saw
yeah.
that. You can.
That's gonna be part of the.
You gonna have any dishes with you in Agawam?
Well, that's exactly what. If you pay for the VIP package, you get to skip the line. You get to pick your own seats.
There's not going to
and
be any line. There's
There's
not
gonna
going to
be
be a line.
I think
That's
I
sweet.
think you underestimate how beloved you are.
Oh,
I know a lot of people that, like, when I told them you were coming on, they were like, "Holy shit!" There was a couple of them that was like
blush emoji, blush emoji. Okay.
I had a couple of them be like, "Oh, the guy from Adventures in Babysitting and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Corey Feldman." I was like, "No,
No, said fuck Corey Feldman, not in this house.
no, I'm being completely serious," which is the worst part.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I was like, "Are you?"
Oh, I
are you
wasn't done
stupid?
with me and Corey working together. We did the actual specials. We did all the events and stuff together. Then we did the Oscars. We performed live on the Oscars together with Christian Slater, Ricky Lake, Patrick Dempsey, Jolie and Tricia Fisher, Carrie Hamilton, Carol Burnett's late daughter. All of us in a huge musical number. Now, nobody remembers.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Keith is doing an event, pop culture, cards, comics, collectibles, and gaming in Raymond, New Hampshire.
One of the other events
doing
that's
it.
coming from Hot Mics is also a Stephen Michael Quezada from Breaking Bad. He's going to be at Agawam Cinemas on
Oh.
April 15th from 7 to 9. He's doing 2 stand-up specials. His stand-up is hilarious.
Which one's he in? Yeah.
You'll remember.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, do you remember his character in Breaking Bad?
No, I never watched it.
He was on, I believe he's on 2 Ghost. Really?
No, I never watched Breaking. I watched like one season.
I hope you. Sunday. I said Saturday. I'm sorry. It's Sunday.
Where's Keith? I want to ask him about
I won in Raymond, New Hampshire Sunday. Saturday is
He's,
the
Oh,
pop-up
He's
event.
come
Sunday.
in and out twice now. Keeps
Oh.
disconnecting.
Yeah. We're waiting for him out here. While we're waiting for him, what do you think of the beer? I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do like it.
That's weird because I actually really like that one.
It's not the best. I've had way
Hmm.
better beer from them.
Oh, absolutely.
That's probably why I like it.
Equilibrium is my
it's-
favorite brewery that you can find in the store, besides Little Willow.
Okay.
Mm.
Which I was gonna get Little Willow, but it was from summer, so I didn't know if it would still be good.
There we
Whoa,
go.
There we are.
Sorry, guys.
with
So
us.
the
It's all
reason
good.
no one remembers the Young Hollywood number is because it was the same year as the Snow White Rob Lowe musical number. Remember that?
Oh,
So we celebrate birthdays together, and I would hang out with the two Coreys later on occasion. I wasn't quite as cool as them, but once I kind of got in that circle, I felt very cool because I'm a big nerd. And then we also did Tale of Two Coreys together. He co-produced the show. There was 2 books that they bought rights for, and one of them was choreography, and you have to read choreography. This is Corey's biography, and you know how you like think stars like sugarcoat stuff or like don't
Yeah.
really tell you what happened.
Yeah.
You have to read choreography. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. And
That's his recommendation.
Yep, huge. You please.
We do
please,
recommendations for
if you're
reading
at all
or
interested
a
in the
movie or
80s
something.
and what
So
it was really like to be there, and please read choreography. It'll blow your minds. So then I thought for a Lifetime show it looked great. It was salacious. It was everything you want out of a Lifetime movie. And we did the Rape of Two Coreys to the documentary. My part of that is just interviewed. I'm focused on protections on set, have the parent around, the social worker, parent has the right to be within sight and sound of their child. Then I found that I did a play, and I asked Corey to come, and he came. Then he did a show, and I went to his show. Then we did an event together, and then I did another thing, and he came. And I invite people, and they're like, "Is it west of Robertson?" They're like, "No, I'm not going." So that's a street in LA that kind of divides West LA and LA. So I found out that of all the people in LA, Corey Feldman is the most loyal friend. And because it is really hard to get people to come do your stuff. Nobody wants to leave their house. So we do pokers, weekly poker game with other foreign child
No
stars.
kidding.
You got Jameson Newlander, the other Frog brother, and the Lost Boys.
Oh, cool.
Yep, we're joined by
You guys still get together?
Bentley Mitchum, and Michael Rosenbaum. Others join in from time to time. It's great.
He's got
This
a
is an
good
ongoing
spot.
game. He's had this game since the 80s.
That's fantastic.
that's awesome that you still get together
Are you-
after all this time.
Besides like Corey Feldman and whatnot, are there any people like that you've done movies with that you're still like good friends with today?
When we do conventions, it'll be fun to hang out with Billy Zabka. I did the Power
I did-
Within the,
I saw
the
that,
karate
yeah.
movie, and we did the Python together. I love Billy. Hang out with the Leanne Curtis, or she was Randy in 16 Candles. There's just people. Oh, Jason Lively. Go to our YouTube channel, by the way. I also want to promote Keith and Pinky's Hollywood Tales, and they're the
Oh no.
No!
We're gonna write that down. Keith.
And Pinky's Hollywood Tales.
Pinky's
Keith and Pinky's
Oh.
Hollywood Tales,
Hollywood.
and we do 2-question interviews with stars. You got to
Tales.
see what those 2 questions are, and just stuff behind the scenes, conventions, our lives. Pinky's a big fangirl, not of mine, but she has photos with.
I think I've seen some pictures. It's pretty fun.
It's good stuff.
But, do you get to I mean, so during these conventions and stuff, there's people there from everything. So there's
Everything.
like Ghostbuster, yeah. What do you
Everything.
really like
Babylon
seeing?
5 to War of the Worlds and Naruto. There are
Yes.
anime voices and Disney.
Dead air.
Feldman.
Bum, bum,
This is
bum,
all Corey
bum.
Feldman's fault. While we're waiting, I do want to say this. I'll wait till he gets back, but we're gonna give away some beer shortly. I
Now?
think shortly. Um, there's only
To
uh,
you.
We still got like a week or two of
no
month.
the last month's beer.
Oh, we haven't done that yet?
No, we were gonna do it on the. I figured from now on we're gonna do it on the live stream.
Oh,
Gotta-
here he is.
I think my
back.
StreamYard is just nuking my phone, so I think it's just getting really hot, or I don't know. My internet's been wonky all day. Spectrum's been out in the alley, so it's been going on and off with
Sucks.
5G and stuff, and also I've always had issues with StreamYard, but I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Yeah, so the conventions, it's just they have all this stuff. Where do you go like to
I
nerd
could
out?
be. Oh my goodness! So there's like a celebrity row, but
Yeah.
I like sometimes the table's up high and you can't, or there's a weird line thingy. And lately we've been going with a superhero in training pop vinyl booth where they host. It could be me and Mukes from horror films. It could be voice artist or Mark Price, Skippy from Family Ties. Keith Coogan, and so we'll be in the merch. Oh, T-shirt, lunchbox, Keith Coogan. Oh, pop what? And so I'll announce it. It's always arranged with the convention. So even if I'm not on the guest list at the convention, I may be at the convention. So it shows you that even without flights or hotel or a guarantee, we love going to the cons and meeting the fans, and it's a good time. All the cosplay and competitions and video games and toys and art that we wind up buying. It's good.
Oh yes. Have you? I took my
I'm
girlfriend
looking
to her
around my
first one.
place.
She loves it.
How's that?
I took my girlfriend to her first convention, and she's hooked now. She wants to go to all of them, dress up. Have you cosplayed?
A lot of the stuff behind me that's not either a comic book or a movie poster. It's all convention art. Some of the artists that do the convention are phenomenal artists. I don't know if you see the Wu-Tang one behind me. Artist named
Don't look at me. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember his name. Hold on.
Yeah, highly recommend.
Ryan G. Brown? I know it's RGB.
Roy G. Biv.
No. No. Anyways, there's some of the best pieces I've ever seen. There's one that I have to take down because the guy got canceled.
Oh boy, which one?
Justin
Roiland. Justin Roiland, Rick and Morty.
Oh,
yep.
So yeah, where's my Rick and Morty shirt? The one I have has wanted in red letters, and then Rick and Morty, and then for crimes against interdimensional travel, whatever. And so I can kind of wear it peeking out just so you see the wanted part. But Will Wheaton goes into a great essay on separating artists from the artist, artist from the art.
Really?
I grew up on George Carlin and Bill Cosby records. One of them I can listen to now. But those jokes. Roman Polanski continued making movies. Weinstein produced movies for a decade, and everyone knew what was going on. The industry's changing. It hasn't changed completely. It's there's still remnants clinging to kind of an old world system, an old boys club, if you will. And look, as an older straight white male, I get it. So it is. It's very, very interesting. Now you can't win an Oscar unless you have the diverse cast or the production team, or have some interns, directors, assistants. There's got to be some sort of attempt to be inclusive, because
the inclusivity of it.
Yeah, in the I did a lot of movies in the 80s, and they tended to be about a bunch of white kids in the suburbs. And our main tension in Adventure Babysitting is going into this scary city. Anyway, we could do better. Monster Squad. You watched Monsters? We were watching. Oh my God, what were we watching? Footloose, and we were like the original Footloose, and we heard some things that we didn't necessarily want to hear.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Really? Oh wow. There's a lot of stuff that slipped by in the 80s is okay, and it's not okay now.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
However, I still think Thor's a homo. See, and the only people that come up and ask for that quote are in the LGBT community, and they love the line, and they get it, and they get that Brad was being a dick, and
So
he wouldn't have
fucking
been as
hilarious.
big a dick if he said Thor's a hobo or Thor's a weirdo. He was trying to do a particular dig that, in context, and at that time, would have been something a brother would have done to their sister. So Disney sent me a cassette tape and said, "Could you just record the word hobo on here?" And I said, "Nope." So on the TV coverage for years, it was, take it back, Brad. No, Thor's a complete hobo. It would just be a total different voice. And then Disney
my
Plus
God.
came out with it, and they did PG-13. They completely scrubbed everything, every shit, fuck, bitch. Listen to the bitch, Brad. Don't fuck with the baby. All of it is scrubbed, and they even took out "he kicked my ass." Want to see the footprint? So what it does, it broadens it
Man.
so you can sit. I wouldn't recommend an 8-year-old watch Adventure Babysitting. Hell no. I'd actually
I
recommend
would.
an 8-year-old watch Don't Tell Mom first, because all the adult humor goes right over your head as a kid. It doesn't really use as many
Yes.
bad words. I drop the pot plant and I go, fuck, but I don't really hit the K. And you go, oh,
Speaking
they
of
let us
that,
slide on that because I was
Like the
also
fudge.
PG-13.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Christmas
that, we like I haven't watched Don't Tell Mom in years. I watched it literally 500 times in growing up. I watched it for the first time yesterday or the day before, and that movie still holds up. It's so good.
It's timeless.
It's such a good movie. Like, even obviously the movie dates itself because it's the technology is way better. But like, if it was if it came out today, I still would think it's pretty similar
Well-
to how it would have been. Or
You could still do it. If it came out today, it would just be during this time period.
And Black Family.
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers is
Yeah, it
rebooting
would be
it with a black cast. Tyra Banks is going to be the Rose Lindsay character. And I said,
Yep.
if you got the young girl and she's going to go out and look for a job or something, you got to have her walk into one place and open it. And there's Rose Lindsay and Swell and Kenneth delivering, food. And
It's going to be
they're all yelling at
Medea's
each other. And
Adventures
it's
in
nuts.
Babysitting.
And she goes, nope, and closes the door and walks on. A one-day cameo for all of the original cast members within the new Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's universe. So the writer sat down with Neil Landau and Tara Eisen. They gave blessings, gave notes. So it's going to be in the heart, the true heart, the subversive heart of the original. And that's the only thing. If it is subversive, because Don't Tell Mom was and the filmmakers were. They just hid it in a family picture. Like
Wow.
a MacGyver.
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Oh.
One of the things we were just talking about, like inclusivity and whatnot. Like we were saying that it's totally okay to like change the race of somebody as long as you're not whitewashing like a character, like what they did with what's it called?
Yeah, there's been enough white guys, I guess.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with them redoing a
John
movie.
Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Yep, that
You
one.
know, yeah, I think it was a problem then. Look, my
But
grandfather put brown face on when he was Uncle Suleiman on I Dream of Jeannie for a 2-part episode where he gave away Jeannie. He was Jeannie's uncle in brown face.
plays a lot of uncles, huh?
Yeah, he played a lot of uncles.
He's the uncle guy.
That's awesome. But it's just like them taking the ancient one from Doctor Strange and making it into
That was the worst.
what's her name?
Alien lady.
Alien lady.
She looks like an alien.
Well, there's a push and a pull for those kinds of things, and that was more of a push rather than a pull.
Yeah.
So, and that changed because Hollywood said, "Oh, there's a certain place that's dictating what we should do and say, and what patches we can put on jackets, and what enemies can be in war movies." Okay, and you promise access to your market for films and the money, and great. And a few years later, there were no checks. And Hollywood has one color they care about, and that's green. And so the patch went on the jacket. The bad guys came back to what they were before. The connection between an influence of a certain small window in Hollywood has been severed mightily. So, but also pictures are in. They've got the writer strike coming up. We've got bank loans on freeze, so you can't go to B of A to the film division and say, "Hey, I have a Russell Crowe opener, August, $65 million budget," and that film finance. That studios don't use their own money to make a movie.
They use your money.
They go to a bank and they get a loan.
Yeah.
So those loans
Know
are
that.
on pause for a minute. Can we have $150 million for a Nancy Meyer? No, you can't. Isn't that funny that the Nancy Meyer project got canceled at Netflix? $150 million budget. Fassbender, Penelope Cruz, Scarlett Johansson, Owen Wilson. Nope. It was blocked like a 76er defender. It's a tough town, and there's enough, and the studios do work with each other, by the way, because they've had to circle the wagons for a long time. The law, the FTC, there's breaking up the studios from theaters, the working with the economy and working with the pandemic, and let's clear out all theaters. Great. What's our business? We make movies to go in theaters. Shit. So that, but think about it. We had a Great Depression in 1929. And a decade later, in 1939, we had the greatest year in movies. We also had a pretty big depression late 87, Black Tuesday, October 87. And then in 99, we had another greatest year in movies. So the lag is about 10 to 12 years from now. We're going to have in 35. They're probably going to say 33. I think that's got a good ring to it, don't you? 33. They'll go.
Yeah.
Yep. 29.
Holy shit, it's real hard.
99 and 33 were the greatest decade. The greatest years in film. You'll see.
Wow.
I've been looking at a lot of charts and graphs and actuary tables and stuff, and then did a correlation with pirates and carbon warming. No, I'm kidding.
You've been crunching the numbers over there.
Flying Spaghetti Monster reference.
Use red yarn, right?
That was. I did.
Like Charlie Day.
Yeah. Did you? This just popped into my head. So I know. Let me use this as an example. There's like movies, even like right now, like superhero movies, and they have to film extra scenes for China to like appeal to China for whatever reason, and they'll have like another character in the movie and like have a whole other subplot of like,
that's fine. That's common.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's common. They had to change a line of broccoli because it didn't make sense to Japan. That was 15 years ago. They will change characters. They will change jokes. You can't make a Toledo joke. You have to find what Toledo is in that culture and change the line. So they'll
have like a whole other story in the movie and a whole other character. Did you ever have to deal with that? Like, did you ever like film extra scenes and you're like, oh, this isn't like shown in the American version, but this is shown in whatever other version?
There's the bits they shot. They didn't make the cut in, Close Encounters. There's a shot back at the power station when he's talking to his boss and Richard Dreyfuss. It's like a little minute scene. That'll be in the TV version because they need extra time with commercials and stuff to fill out the hour. So there will be little things. There's nothing on the cutting room floor. I worked on such cheap movies with such little budget. There's no, every scene we figured out a way to make work. And if we couldn't, we just didn't shoot it. We cut it out of the script. It had to work in rehearsal. It had to be in the storyboards, and you could trim a scene. We don't need those last two lines. All right, that open. Let's just cut right to this. But every scene of everything is there. Yeah.
No extra China scenes.
Now we shot. We're doing Adventures of Babysitting, and we're in the chop shop, and we're crawling across the beam, and we're all serious, and we're up there. There's a scissor lift up underneath us. So it's a good 30-foot drop, but underneath this is only like an 8-foot drop to this pad.
Still breaking your leg, but
and so we're gonna go climb through this jagged thing and out onto the roof. And they go, hey, last minute, not in the script. They go, hey, listen, we want to shoot something for the trailer. It's only for the trailer. It's do you think your parents will ever ask me to babysit again? Oh, I don't know if they do. I'd ask him for $1 more an hour. And I hated the line. I go, this isn't appropriate time in the scene for it. Or it's weird. I go, I'll do it. Just for the trailer. They go, we promise, for the trailer only. And it's in the movie. So I feel, but they probably laughed and they go, let's try it in the movie. And it was fine. But
does it still bother you when you see it in the movie?
No, well, it bothers me that it's a 10-to-1 zoom. I think they're using, and you can see it. It's one of the rare only times that they actually use the zoom because it's for a
Oh.
TV spot. So the language of TV and the that 3:4 aspect ratio is different than 1:8:5. So to get that, you'll see it. It's us. It's a kind of a loose 3 shot, and as we walk towards the camera, actually does a zoom on like a Zeiss lens. No, we were using Panavision Platinums. Us and Inner Space were the first 2 movies to get the Panavision Platinum. It uses Platinum for the film gate. Yeah, sorry.
Because it's supposed to be better for some reason.
It was supposed to be a crisper, cleaner, less chance for scratches or hairs or some BS.
It was the 4K of the 80s.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
that, and then
huge.
what do they call it? Color correction or whatever? Color timing, color. Like when people say they do the color.
Color
that
correction.
was that was running it through a bleach bypass or or pushing at a stop or pulling at a stop in development. That was all done in camera with exposure, and then they pretty much would nail it with the print because we'd watch dailies. We'd actually sit in a theater the day after filming a long day watching yesterday's. So you're so far, especially the first scene of like a Monday. You work all of Monday and then all of Tuesday before you see even the first scene from 36 hours ago. So you have no idea whether you're coming or going. And it's pretty easy to separate. Like, you're so exhausted too. You go, it starts to look like a movie. You go, I'd use that take. And then in Adventures of Babysitting, I cut it together. As we were going and I was watching the dailies, I go, in my mind, how I would cut the picture. And when the movie came out, it was balls on accurate.
You seem to know a lot about like filmmaking and whatnot. Have you done anything filmmaking wise?
Yeah, shorts and stuff, and directed theater and Chips. Last episode of Chips, John asked, and I go, oh, you should start with here in a dolly and then have them come here. And he goes, why don't you direct this? And I go, okay. And so I directed the last scene of the last episode of Chips. Maybe that's why it was canceled. But when you see the adults do a behavior over and over again, then you learn the rules of tennis. Even though it's weird, weird scoring, you still learn it. So at 5, I'm on a set. I know how to string a cable. I know how to, put a 9 light up on a high roller. I know that's probably a 5/6/8 split for exposure. What are you on, a 60? And they go, yeah. The cameraman would look at me at 10 years old, and I'd be talking their language, and because I need to know my frame size, and it's easier to go, "Are you an 85?" Yeah, and I know where my frame size is. Than to say, "Where's my frame size?" And they have to go like this. And so I love the technical part of it. Absolutely loved it. Still do. I think the technical part is the magic part of filmmaking. So the difference between film and theater. Theater, you sit in one spot and you watch this kind of flat, on the proscenium. So there's depth. In film, you have a foreground, background. Movement, you can't tell a theater member to get up from seat J12 and could you move to seat L15 and do it in about 20 seconds slowly. You can't tell them that, but you can do that. You can do camera movement on film. You can also do a set change in 1/24th of a second. On stage, it takes a minute. You got to have like a Queen Mab speech to cover a set change. By the way, one of the greatest comedy speeches in Shakespeare, the Queen Mab speech at the end of the Romeo and Juliet meeting at the party, that speech was written to cover a set change. So the technical has a lot to do with what's on screen. Another is focus. So I could, if it was a jury scene and a courtroom scene, and there's a big wide shot on stage of a courtroom, to get the audience to focus on one juror wringing her handkerchief, you'd have to have everyone kind of freeze, and that juror would have to make a little bit of movement. On film, you have a wide shot, cut to a close-up of the handkerchief, cut back to a wide shot, you're done. There are 2 more. And I wish I could remember them now. I think mostly to do with movement, mostly to do with like pushing in, pulling out. So that in film there is something, and I grew up on Exorcist and The Sting and Clockwork Orange and Jaws and Raiders and Close Encounters. So and Lucas and Milius and Spielberg and Cimino and had the best filmmakers to watch and influence. and love watching behind the scenes. I buy a Blu-ray. I'm sick in the head. I buy a Blu-ray and I will watch all the behind the scenes first before watching the movie.
I've done the same thing plenty of times. I did that a lot with all the movies that I saw, like Kevin Smith. I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan.
Silent Bob, Jane Silent Bob reboot.
Reboot.
Oh yeah.
Rock and
I,
roll.
you know what? That was actually the segue I was going for, and you fucked it up.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
But like I saw, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I saw Dogma in theaters. I saw a lot of the movies in theaters. So when it came out on DVD, I ended up just watching the special features. And back in the day, he had some of the best special features I've ever seen in my life. They were fucking hilarious, and no one better. And I'm so glad you actually were in a Kevin Smith movie.
Mm-hmm. And another, he produced Wrong Reasons, directed by Josh Roush. Josh Roush directed Magnum Opus, the making of Reboot. And he shot it on an Arri Alexa 6.5. And I'm watching on Amazon Prime, I'm watching Magnum Opus, which is the greatest making of, because it's not a manipulated story or plot. They're just documenting them making the movie. Most behind the scenes, they gotta make some sort of drama or something, and it's there, but it's organic, and it's so beautifully shot. I was watching the documentary, and I go, "That camera is nice. You could make a movie with that camera." A couple months later, I get a note from Josh Roush. Hey, you want to be in a movie? I'm going to use the same camera for that thing. So anyway, that is a punk rock action, kind of thriller. Amazing cast. Wrong Reasons. Just finished a little theater circuit now and hitting June or July VSOD and Blu-ray, DVD, all that stuff. Harley Quinn's in it.
I intend to see it.
Ralph Garman is a hard-boiled detective.
I love Ralph Garman. He's so good. Even as himself, he's amazing.
I look at him and I go, "This isn't just your best work. This is good work for any actor. It really is. He blows me away in Wrong Reasons. He could be a hot little. You'll see. He'll be sexy. He's so sexy. You see. I should text him right now. Ralph, you're so sexy.
You can invite him on if you want.
Yeah.
No. What did you? I have to ask, because I've been a huge fan of Kevin Smith's work for years and years and years, but I feel like they started to fall off. Or he started to fall off, obviously, with the Canada series and whatnot. What did you think of Clerks 3?
Oh, I bawled. I cried my eyes out. I didn't see Clerks in theater. I think I saw it on tape a couple years after, because I went out my way to watch Slacker and El Mariachi and Clerks. And at that time the accomplishment was you made a movie.
Yeah.
Didn't matter story, pacing, characters, poster, budget. None of that matters. Can you kind of hear the dialogue? Is there an image on screen that's kind of in focus? And it's 87 minutes with titles? Damn. Somebody could pick that up and sell it. And there's plenty of places like New World Pictures that would do that. It's called a negative pickup. So you contact them and you go, "Here's my script. Here's my idea. It's probably going to cost me $500,000 to make it. But when I finish it, so there's no risk to you. It's finished. Will you buy it for $1 million?" It's called a negative pickup. They buy the negative. And New World or Warner Brothers or Disney, I did Cheetah, was a negative pickup. Spent $1.5 million to make it. Disney bought it for $3 million, and it made $10 million at the box office. So opened the same weekend as Lethal Weapon 2 and Batman Returns. Woo!
Wow.
So the business, remember, it's entertainment industry, show business. And the economics of it, how do we get paid? How do the artists get paid? It's a crew of 100 people. And on these days, it's a crew of 1,000 with the effects and stuff like that. What was the question? I forgot everything we were talking about.
I don't know. This is cool.
What did you think of Clerks 3?
God. So I've become friends with Brian and Jay and Kevin and the whole. I'm in the Viewist universe. I've had Jason Lee say my name. It's surreal. And it's a great group of people. And there's love, the kind of love there and the support. So, I thought it was great. I thought it was obviously his most personal work, next to Chasing Amy. By the way, Joy Lord Adams told us the movie's about weed, because she smoked weed and Kevin didn't, and weed was the other woman, and he wrote a movie and he changed weed to a woman. Anyway, there's a whole thing about
Oh
that.
shit!
I know. So next to Chasing Amy, I think this is, and Dogma too, because as a Catholic, I'm also raised Catholic. You, it's a belief system. There's Satan and hell and all that other stuff. And as a kid, you believe in Santa Claus and Big Bird and Mephistopheles.
Yes.
So it's hard for a Catholic to shake that shit off. Trust me. Yeah, I thought Clerks 3 was great. I can't wait. I gave him a break after Reboot. There's a lot of Keith Coogan in Reboot, maybe a little much Keith Coogan love. I said, let him do Clerks 3, wrap it up. I was a part of that whole thing. That's great. But Mallrats, motherfuck, I'm in. I, love Shannon Doherty. I did Jump Street with her. London.
That's another fucking movie I forgot.
Tales
Show
from the
I forgot
Crypt.
about.
I've got to get into with his brother, Tales from the Crypt with his brother. The London brothers are both friends, and it's like I worked with one and not the other, but then I forget which one I worked with, and I still can't tell them apart. I grew up with Rachel and Robin Bush, who were the little twins on Little House on the Prairie, and growing up, I couldn't tell. I'm really bad at telling twins apart. So yeah. Anyway,
I honestly did not. I did not want that movie to come out just because I was like, it not necessarily pissed. Like I started to my love of Kevin's movies started to waver a little bit because Reboot wasn't amazing, and a couple of stuff before that wasn't. I lied. Reboot was really good, but it wasn't like what I wanted it to be. You know what I mean? But you started to say it. I cried my eyes out at Clerks 3. It arguably is one of his best movies in my opinion, and I'm glad he went back to the formula.
I have to admit that Jay and Harley's work in Reboot was phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
They're the heart of that picture, the father-daughter stuff in that, and that's Kevin and his daughter Harley, and Jay and his daughter, probably named like Stormtrooper or something. I don't know. Ava. Wait, what's her name?
Millennium Falcon.
Well, yeah, in the movie exactly. I'm an idiot. So neat. Now, Strike Back was the first time I felt Return of the Jedi. So there's that moment about halfway through the Return of the Jedi, and you go, "Oh, okay." Kind of see I feel the writing. I feel it like wrapping. I feel something's not right. It's off. And South Park did it great when they rape him over the pinball machine. That in the middle of Return of the Jedi, the rape began, and you go, oh, marketing and money, and that's more important than the artistic vision. Got it. So some things will ring false because all those other people wanted a happy ending. I now have to get this happy ending. Okay. Oh, we're gonna double down into a celebration and shoot off fireworks and have a different song. Okay, George, whatever you want to do. So yeah, I'll follow George down a way. George is a technophile, so he's just into the technology and the toys and the spaceships and the cars and the stuff, and people and stories is maybe tougher for him. George, if you're listening, thank you for producing Escape Artist, one of my grandfather's last films. Zoetrope, I got to go to Zoetrope and meet everybody and go on the set of Escape Artist, which had Desi Arnaz and Griffin O'Neill.
This is a good thing. You can talk all the shit you want. I swear George will never see this.
He has it on Google.
Never chickens.
It's like Nerds of Unusual Origin. Just name check George Lucas.
Yeah, that's gonna be the title of this show when we get it.
I have to listen now.
Keith Coogan shoots on George Lucas.
We have an audio drop for the name of our episode. So Dave, go ahead.
There it is.
That's good.
Our producer Dave is behind everything. So
behind everything.
Yeah,
just like Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman's behind 9/11.
He's behind everything. He did this.
Well, that's
no, oh my god, it's craziest
Listen,
thing with Corey. I left my wife at home and I went out and joined Corey, and we went. Oh my god, we went with his family bowling. Wild.
Oh no,
it was so unusual. No, I'm kidding. I love
Oh,
him.
I'm like sitting here
I'm
like,
like-
oh.
No,
I'm like,
nothing. No scandal. No,
I
nothing,
agree.
no. Actors do work to have a outward image and a persona. I don't. I always like the characters, and I hated doing PR. I said, "Can I talk about the movie? Can I talk about the character?" And then they asked me about myself, and I'm like, "I don't have a myself. I'm Zelig. I am just a performer. I'll go in and dance, monkey dance, whatever it takes to entertain the crowd." And it comes from growing in a dysfunctional household. You need to read the room, and you need to know how to make people laugh real quick. So mine were survivalist skills in entertaining. A lot of my comedy comes off in that desperate kind of way, and I love those type of characters. They're close to me. And I love fallible people you can see right through. You can just see their scheming right through. Read them like a book. And I insist on doing things that people would do. So when you're watching, in the back of your mind, you go, actually, that's something I would do. Or I've done that before. And we can laugh at ourselves. That's my only goal. That's my only goal. That's my only job, period. So my image has been the fool, the clown, the Joker, Arlecchino, Bugs Bunny. But I'm also painfully shy. Love being alone. Love playing my video games, reading my books, or writing, or filmmaking, or that's apart from all the time that I travel with my wife, and we really have a great it's hard. We're not super rich or anything like that, but we
2013?
enjoy while we're working.
That's when you guys got married?
We got 10 years ago, and we're like, hey, do you want to just fly around and travel and do hotels and conventions and stuff like that? Yeah, okay, let's do that. So we've been doing that, and it's fun.
Awesome.
It gets tiring after a while, but the show must go on, and you got to hit the mark, and the curtain goes up.
My wife just wants to sit at home, so
My wife.
at least
My
at
wife.
least you're doing something.
Everybody just wants to.
Still,
sit
I
at
love
home.
you if you're listening.
Oh,
Whoa,
stay puffed down.
That was her being mad at you.
Wow.
it was.
So here's a sad question. Did you know Jason David Frank from all the conventions?
Yeah,
Green
I think
Power
we
Ranger.
had done some. Yes, but not close. No. I always do
he
well
was
at
just
Power
that.
Ranger shows. Anytime I go to an autograph convention, I look over and I see, red, yellow, black. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna do really well. I don't know why. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
this right age group.
Yep, that'd be like our age group. Me and Steve.
Yeah.
Colin's a little bit younger.
Colin's a
I'm a
youngin.
youngin.
Dave's even younger.
Baby. We got babies working. We got man. I hope that the Coogan Act doesn't apply over here. We're employing children.
We're really not, and nobody's.
No,
getting
this
paid.
falls
No.
under news gathering. It's documentary. It's not union. And the baby is
Yeah.
incidental, just like the art, which is copyrighted and trademark characters. However, those are one-off art pieces, and being incidental and in the background and not the focus of our podcast falls under fair use. And the child is not covered any sort of labor act, because you're not requiring the child to be on a mark or do a thing at a certain time, and you're not paying the child. So remember, if you put your kid on camera, just don't pay him.
Yeah, Dave. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
You heard it here. Keith Coogan said, "Fuck them kids."
But they give me beer. And
Not literally.
No, not like that.
Metaphorically.
they give me beer, and I'm only 17.
Whoa! Don't tell them. No.
17 and a half.
I think in Michigan that's
31.
legal. I think that's okay.
Sure. That's where we're
Oh,
based out of
Jesus.
now.
Yeah,
If anyone-
that's where we are.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
we've taken up enough of your time. You've been with us for
Yeah,
the
you
last
have.
2 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you so
You
much.
assholes.
I know. You're very personable. Thank you for this. I could talk to you all
I
day. This is
sincerely
awesome.
thank you for everything. You corresponding with me, you agreeing to do this with us. It's amazing. Like, you're probably the coolest dude I've ever talked to. So
No,
He's
I will
stop
tell
it.
you that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we should get an apartment together.
Love
Do you wanna
talking
move
about
in
movies.
Yeah.
And I do. I'm a big nerd.
I
Love
need a
talking
place
about
to live.
movies, and if we talk about movies that I'm in, that's fine too. But I'm passionate about it, and big film geek. So the time went very quickly. Thank you for having me.
Ooh, bring up that thing.
It's up.
The last
It's
comment.
up.
What do you
Right
say?
there.
Don't be so modest. You, sir, are the reason I love 80s, early 90s flicks.
Aw.
So many laughs and so many memories. I used to watch Don't Tell Mom with my late grandparents. So thank you, sir, for the memories. That's
Thank
Anthony
you for
just
the
looked
laugh.
at my eye.
He
So-
is literally 30 feet from me this way.
But,
I kind of grew up with
Thank you.
Anthony. He's a good man.
But
Good
no,
man.
sincerely, thank you. Like, I'll be seeing you next week. I'll be there.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
yeah, like, I sincerely appreciate it.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you for
yes.
sharing so much with us. Like hearing the ins and outs of kind of the inner workings of movie production and everything, and getting to hear all the people that you've run into. It's really cool to hear.
That's the only
Sweet,
thing
get
I
to
can
it
say
quick,
the whole
'cause
I
time.
know. I just like to listen. I'm a quiet guy. I just
my
like
brain
to
is
listen to
shot
everything.
through like Swiss cheese from living through the 90s. So as long as I can still remember this stuff, I would gladly talk about it and share it. We can document it for
Yeah,
when I lose it.
I was watching, preparing for this. I was watching other interviews with you and just like videos and stuff like that. And I didn't want to ask the same old questions about the same old things just all the time. So I was trying to ask off the beat or whatever questions. But I've noticed this in all the things. You probably get asked the same things all the time.
Watch
And you
my
answer them.
stand up. It's on it. It's on my channel, just Keith Coogan at YouTube. But my
Yep.
stand up, I do stand up for half of it. And then I go, listen, I'm not really stand up. I'm an actor, but I do a lot of interviews and Q&As and stuff. Why don't I just do like an FAQ, the top 5 questions I get asked? And 90% of the time that I do podcasts, and this is why I thank you guys. Of course, you're great research, and they're great questions. They weren't these, but it's always the exact same 5 questions that I do in my act, which is hysterical. And I know Biff from Back to the Future hands out a card. Yes, Marty's very nice. Yes, no, we didn't do that. No, Steve Martin has a card that says this card is proof that you met Steve Martin and he was funny, charming, and witty. And
That's amazing.
so anyway, well, thank you guys. It's very flattering.
Oh.
I'm very lucky to, I was gone nuts as a kid that I was on the Love Boat or got to play with David Hasselhoff or got to, do these movies and there's that camera and stuff. So I'm not really a part of it. I running to keep up and lucky. Curtis Armstrong, Booger from Nerds. He said,
yeah, Revenge of the Nerds. I love Curtis Armstrong.
And he's
and a new
so
girl. That's a
funny, quick, witty, smart. He's one of the best speakers next to Brian O'Halloran I have ever seen. The two of them could hold court, any situation, anything, and write something that they really, really. Anyway, he said there's 2 levels of luck in this industry. The first level of luck is you get a job. You got cast in a movie. Oh my God, they're paying me, and then they're feeding me. It's great, and maybe I don't know. The second level of luck is there a 35-year anniversary? Do you have cast reunions? Is the Blu-ray being sold? Are they still streaming it on HBO Max? That's a whole nother level of luck.
Yeah.
So to be, Adventures of Babysitting isn't Ferris Bueller's. It ain't 16 Candles. It ain't Breakfast Club. But it got mentioned in the same reviews, especially considering the rumor is David Simpkins was trying to break story and he saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And in that, the characters who live in Chicago, parents leave, and so the kids go on one day all around Chicago, never stopping in the same place twice. They go to a French restaurant, have a musical scene, and then beat the parents home just in time. Literally beat for beat Adventures in Babysitting. So that's probably why it was mentioned. And just to be mentioned in the same sentence as Ferris is like, that's awesome. People call it cult. They'll go, oh, cult babysitter movies, babysitting or eventually Babysitter Dead. And I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. Cults, Rocky Horror.
Cult's the shit.
Tape Heads or Cult is to me, Cult is, American Wolf in London. There's budget and we tripled that and release and did good press and it did well on video and it didn't lose money. It wasn't $100 million movie. So it was, it was a success and, but also had something I think special because of the cast and all of them. It all comes down to the cast. And this is one of the businesses where sometimes you got to work with people that you don't like. You got to stand next to them.
Yeah.
There's a mark. Stand there. They're going to stand there. You got to do the scene with them. And you have a past or you have a history or you just don't gel. It happens. And hopefully you can't tell. But none of the It's only on movies that I could pay you $20 and you couldn't find to download.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's you. But like I was saying, you are. I know that you've answered all those questions a million times. We're not gonna. You can watch you stand up and check all those questions for anyone that's wondering all those questions and everything. But I've noticed this about you. You will answer them with the same. Like you're not like. Yeah, so like you're still enthusiastic. I know it must be killing you a little bit. But
I know.
So
I did one earlier this
nice
week, and
about
they started with. So, how did you get started? And I was like, I think there's a micro where I go, all right, how deep, how much? I don't know the pace. I don't know the length. Usually I don't have the time to really read anything about these. I'm like, I got a slot. I got to sit down, turn the light on and go. And so I don't know. I'm kind of flying blind a lot of these interviews too. So thank you. But
yeah, we always ask that one because we're nerds of unusual origin. So we ask origin. But other than that, we try not to.
Sometimes people might like a story and they want me to do that story. So they'll ask the same question that elicited that story. But I don't know if that's the case, and I don't know if that's the story they're rooting for. You know what I mean? So I have to do this thing that actors are really not good at. Listen. And I'm not good at it. I have attention span of a squirrel. And there's two ways someone can come at you. And this is in autograph conventions. And they're not being mean, but some are. There's a difference between someone come at your table and going, oh, do you still act? And someone coming up and going, oh, wow. Do you still act? Is something I could see in right now? Right? There's a little difference there.
Yeah.
My grandfather handled it great. Someone would come up to him and go, oh, when was the last movie you did? And my grandfather would go, when was the last movie you did?
Uh-huh. Yeah, like when we ask, it's I want to see you in something again.
Totally.
What can I expect from you?
Thank you. I went through a dick move where I was like, I think I'd hit 30 movies, and people were asking me, "Oh, do you still act? Do you want to act?" Of course, I want to act. I pounded it every day. I was up for Babylon, 2 parts in Babylon. I was up, up for Ford vs. Ferrari. I get all these great opportunities. I get some, you don't. You don't get some, and you get some, you do. One answer is when they pay me. Do you still act? When they pay me? That's a dickish answer. Yeah,
it's funny though. It's not too bad. I like that. I'd be like, yeah.
So before you go, to tell everybody where they can buy tickets for next week's events and everything. I'll put it back up on the screen there for you.
Yeah, it's
and if we can expect another monologue a day.
Anna Vanek and Anna it's Agawam Cinema, KeithCoogan.ticketleap.com. That website again, Agawam Cinema, KeithCoogan.ticketleap.com. Use the code NERD, and you'll get a great deal. Buy 3, get 1 free. See you there.
That's actually a really good deal.
That is a good deal.
That's a good deal, man. Dude, that's a good deal.
Where can people find you?
KeithCooganOnline.com, Twitter and Instagram at just Keith Coogan. I didn't do the clever like Will W with Twitter like he did. I'm dumb. I did along the full name. Don't fall for the Keith Coogan official on Instagram. There are 2 fake accounts that are trying to friend people and Bitcoin them or something. I don't know. And I don't know why. It's like an untouchable.
Oh, somebody Bitcoins me. I'm going to be their friend.
Sean Connery and Kevin Costner are talking and, you're a treasury agent. And he goes, who would pretend to be that which is not? I don't know why someone's imitating Keith Coogan online. They're not going to get far. Hysterical.
Hey, Mike. Who
they thought it was Will Wheaton.
I do need to know who bought KeithCoogan.com.
Oh yeah, was KeithCoogan.com taken?
They're a lovely couple. It is 3 or 4 sentences. There's a picture of them in their lawn chairs. They reside in Kent, and that's their website. Nothing I can do about that.
Seriously?
Really?
Yeah. Who cares?
Wow. That's so strange.
It's fine.
I'm gonna get them on the podcast.
I'm going
to kind of look. Dave, look that up right now.
I'm gonna do what I can to get them to give you that website.
Yeah, KeithCoogan.com.
We will have our army of watchers.
We will sick Corey Feldman on you.
Use code Corey Feldman.
Corey's like
Raid Shadow Legends.
Your website. I've got some notes.
Use code Corey Feldman to unleash the wrath of hell.
Dave, just go to KeithCoogan.
KeithCoogan.com. Yeah. Right there.
Jesus, now I gotta see this.
Don't you mess you mess with the Coog?
Oh, hey, you might be able to buy it. It says it can't be reached.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, fuck them people.
You should check it out.
It's yours now. See?
I think
they
they're,
heard this shit.
They're
They saw this and they fucking immediately
Look what we did.
cease and desist.
what's it called? What was the Yahoo place called?
Domain?
Remember those old oh man, you guys are probably too young.
GoDaddy.
No. Yahoo gave out free websites and they were called Home something Home. I can't remember now. Wow. I'm old. I'm old.
I know Burger King was taken, and it was by a guy who hated Burger King, and he just shit on him.
Oh my god, I heard about
And
that.
it
Yeah.
took him forever, and they finally bought it from him for a lot of money.
Dave's finding out if KeithCoogan.com is available. Hold on.
KeithCoogan.com.
There's a YouTube essay.
Ooh.
Congrats.
Hey.
It is available.
Hey,
Oh, nice.
we just told you, we're letting you know right now, your domain is available. You should
Right
buy
now.
it. $12.99.
$12.99. Oh, wait, that's for .net.
Oh, you fucker.
But
Yeah.
that one's also available, though.
KeithCoogan.org.
I'm
Go
have
up,
no
Dave.
org, no organization.
KeithCoogan.com.
No, it's
That's
commerce. It goes to
available.
my website to sell stuff, so I am a commerce site.
KeithCoogan.com is $38.96.
There you go.
Dave, buy it.
Put it on my wife's credit card.
Now, I'd rather have that babysitterguy.com.
The babysitter guy. Yes.
Get the dishes
That's
are done,
fucking
man.
amazing.
Ooh, that's good.
So, all
Get it.
right,
Yeah.
we'll let you go, but I need you to say it. Can you say it for me, please?
Okay, so I was at a funeral in Utah, and a friend of the family's, and Utah and Mormon churches, they'll do a service, and then the downstairs underneath in a little area, the quiet family and stuff, and they'll eat and kind of be respectful. And one cousin, the deceased, came over to me, and he's all solemn, and he came up close to me, and he goes, "Could you just say it once?" In the middle of the funeral. So I will gladly listen, guys. Nerds of Unusual Origin, you guys have been really fun, and I guess there's really only one thing left to say: dishes are done, man.
Woo!
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Keith.
so much.
Thank you, Keith.
You are amazing. So much fun tonight.
Oh, cheers.
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 Thank you so
No,
much.
I'm done, but there's probably a draw.
Get there.
Wait,
I'm
let me get the
done
label
too.
right.
There's still half of this is not that great.
Cracking open another one.
You liked it.
I didn't say I liked it.
I am Steve.
I'm Mikey.
I'm Steve.
We're
I'm
nerds.
Colin.
And this is Keith Coogan.
Keith
And
Rock and
Keith
roll.
fucking Coogan.
See you guys.
Stay happy.
Stay healthy.
Stay nerdy.
Nobody
Thank
leaves
you,
this place
everybody.
without singing the blues.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Hold
everybody.
on, I'm
Yeah.
gonna end broadcast.
And
We're,
broadcast.